much appreciated. Here we are. Here we are. It's 5 o'clock, and we are here for another edition of Watch Me Work. Where I thought I turned my phone off. You know, if you turn on airport mode and all that, it still dings at you. Where the me and the title is you, and we get together as often as we can. Usually every Monday at 5. We turn off our phones and we hang out and we work for 20 minutes, and then we have a conversation about your work and your creative process for the time remaining. And so we will do that again this week because that's what we always do. Zoe from New Work Development, she's currently is in an undisclosed location doing a very cool show, but we won't. But Zoe, will you tell us how to get in touch if we should have questions?
Yeah, hi everyone. Welcome back to Watch Me Work and happy March. So after our 20-minute quiet work time, we're gonna start getting a nice queue going for questions that you might have for SLP. In order to ask your question, please use the raise hand function, which can be found in the bottom of your Zoom screen under React. So if you can go ahead and click raise hand, then we'll have a list of folks, and then I'll call on your name for you to please unmute and ask your question at that time.
Well done. Thank you so much. Thank you for keeping us in the groove. Here we go. Got our time here. Here we go. It's time. If you got questions, we can talk about your work, your creative process.
Yeah, hi Sasha. Please unmute and ask your question.
Hi, Zoe. Hi, SLP and
Hi,
everyone.
Sasha.
Nice
Hi.
to see you. My question is about, I have it written down so I wouldn't forget it.
Oh,
Um,
good.
sorry, now I'm finding it. But basically, it's about like maybe you have some opinions about how to talk about your work, like, and I mean like in a kind of maybe more of like a professional way, because, and I know we've kind of, this has come up in other times, like, but it's sort of like, I don't know if it's like this for you, but like for me it's sort of like the world or like the universe where like the work comes from, like it's not like compatible sometimes with like, um I don't see, where'd you go? Okay, there you are. Is like the universe where, of like the real world, and so sometimes, like for me at least, it's like difficult to translate like what I'm thinking or doing into a way that, like, I don't know, capitalism understands or something. Does that make sense?
Ooh, you got me. Got me that last little half of the sentence there. The way that capitalism understands. Oh wow, Sasha, what great question. So this for the purpose of like pitching the work to a prospective buyer, client, um, or it's already published and you're going on a book tour. I mean, where are you with it, kind of?
I guess either one, like even just writing, you have to, like, let's say, for like let's say a submission, or like like you publish something and you want people to read it, but it's not because you make money off of that. It's just because, it's almost like you can't even like talk about other your stuff or other people's stuff without people thinking like, wait, like what do you get out of this or something, and like, or just writing a synopsis of like that other people can kind of relate to without experiencing the work directly. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I think I feel like I understand what you're talking about. So you're trying to sort of help a prospective reader or listener or viewer or kind of understand, um, get a vibe of what your work is about. Kind of like in film world, you'd call it maybe the elevator pitch. Maybe it's if it's a long elevator ride, maybe, or a treatment or a synopsis or something like that. Is that kind of what you're kind
Yeah,
of
I
a
think so.
blurb about what you were? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I'd say imagine um, I was going to say a teenager, but that's hey, why not? Imagine a teenager whose eyes every once in a while go either or wander off, even the smart, wonderful ones, you know, tell them the story, you know, tell them the story. It's horrible, right? Oh my God. What if you're not writing for teenagers? Well, that's not a bad way to write a pitch. I wanted to like with if it was a small child, you say once upon a time, right? And you get the main character in there. Once upon a time, there was a woman named Sasha who asked a question, and it was 5:26 in the afternoon. Oh my God! And it was a great question. Put some enthusiasm in there. I'm not suggesting that you talk down to your prospective readers, but I'm saying that you engage them. That's my method. I'm not the heady kind of writer. You know what I mean? I'm more of the like, hey, people, we got a story, right? Even the Brady Bunch, even the Brady Bunch. If you don't remember the Brady Bunch, it was a TV show. Um, Here's a story of a lovely lady, right? And there was music to it, so it kind of got you. You want to engage the prospective viewer, reader, audience. They're people. In the olden days, right? They were around a fire. and Homer or Homeressa was telling a story, and you know that she or he had to bring the goods to keep their people engaged. So be engaging. Don't be afraid to be fun. You know, have a good time with it. Imagine that the person is a young person who doesn't have who has all the time in the world but not a big attention span. Captivate them. Make them an offer they can't refuse, like The Godfather. Don't be afraid to be funny or fun. Don't be afraid to, like, or intellectually challenging. If your work is intellectually challenging or talks about something that you're not supposed to talk about, like Gaza. Hey, you might maybe couch that in some language that people won't be sort of offended by. If you want to kind of get it over the hurdle. It talks about the world we live in right now, you could say. When they get to the book, they're like, uh-oh, it's about that subject that I'm not allowed to think about. You know what I mean? But they're already 50 pages in, and then they're interested. Try it out on a few friends. Try your pitch out in front of a mirror. Try the pitch out in front of your dog, if you have a dog. The dog of a friend. Don't try it out on a cat. The cat won't give you the time of day even if it's good. Okay? It's a fun thing, and see it as an opportunity to have a good time and to tell your people how wonderful your project is. Instead of like, oh my God, something you have to do that's kind of horrible, that's like bringing my work to the marketplace. Because while that is true, Sasha, there is you who makes the work in your beautiful workspace. And then there's God damn it to hell, as my grandmother would say. I gotta take this to market. Fuck this shit, I say. Oh my God, I gotta convince people to read it? Okay, but you could look at it that way. Or you could look at it as a wonderful opportunity to engage another part of your personality, which is the person who's gonna get him to come in the tent. And we all got that. That's part of the reason why we're here. It's part of the reason why we're storytellers. Part of our personality is the person who can get people to come in the tent. Come on. This is good. Right? It's part of your skill set. So just brush that skill set off and realize that you have it. And while, the marketplace is what it is and capitalism is the C word, it's fun. Make it fun for yourself anyway. Is that helpful? I had fun just thinking about it. I want to go write something new so I can pitch.
Yeah, thank you. And I love how you said the Brady Bunch, and then I looked at the screen and we look like the Brady Bunch.
We do look like the Brady Bunch, don't we? Yeah, right. We do look like the Brady Bunch, and we kind of are the Brady Bunch.
Love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Great
Amazing.
question.
Thank
Look
you.
at us.
Yes, thank you, Sasha. So we got a good cue going. So Zoe and I are going to switch off calling on people. And the next hand I see is Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
Hi, I didn't know I'd be next.
Uh-oh.
That's okay.
I think you are next.
I am. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to report to everybody that I had my first play reading yesterday.
Yay, you had it. Fantastic. Congratulations.
It happened, yes. And the cast, I mean, you were right about so many things. I mean, the cast was wonderful.
Oh, good.
They asked really wonderful questions and really kind, thoughtful questions, most of which I could answer, some of which I had to write down in my notebook and say, I'll get back to you on that one. It was fun. It was fun. And I think everybody was just thrilled to be in a room and doing work, honestly, together. And that was really, if I accomplished nothing else, I accomplished that. And I felt good about that. The other thing is now you're writing your play, and it's taken me about, 2.5 years to do this, to get to this point. And I followed all the rules. I let the characters, what do the characters want? What are they asking for? I thought about that. I took my characters for a walk. I went up and down the sidewalk proclaiming. Then I'm sitting there in the play reading and I'm going like, oh, yes, the characters have to talk to each other.
Mhm.
That was like, oh yeah, okay. Because I'm so used to the characters talking to me talking back. We're out there on the sidewalk. But I forgot that the whole point of this is so these make-believe people have these conversations. And that made me, that was like, I just figured out how to get a spaceship to the moon or something. I was like, oh yeah, that's the point of it. I'd completely forgotten that in this whole writing process. But all in all, it was a really remarkable experience. And the lasagna afterwards was great. And, thank you, Kimmy, for that idea. I appreciate it. And it was just wonderful. And thank you for your support. And I was so excited to come back today and tell everybody about it because it was so cool. So thank
I'm
you
so
for
happy.
everything.
We're so happy for you, Lisa. You're. I gotta say, in the years we've been seeing you and watching work, I have never seen you more animated and like exuberant. I gotta say, more play readings for you with lasagna, as Kimmy suggests. Yes.
Right.
Wow, look at you. You're transformed.
Oh, well, thank you. It was a
Yeah.
transformative experience. It really was.
How exciting. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
Well
thanks.
done. Great job. Great job. So when's the next one, if I may ask? When's the
Uh,
next
the,
play reading?
oh, no, the next one, the next play or the next reading?
The next reading.
The next reading is depending on theater availability,
Uh-huh.
which is the thing. It's going to be at the end of May or the beginning of June, and it's a staged reading.
Nice. Nice. Exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting. Good
Yeah.
job. Oh, well done.
Thanks.
Well, congratulations. Well, we can't wait to hear about that one also. Yeah.
Yay, go Lisa. All right. Hi, Sarah. Please unmute and ask your question.
Hi, it's great to be back. Thank you. I am
Come
very
on.
fortunate. What's
Play
that?
with the amazing title. Come on.
Thank you. Chatterbox About a Talking Uterus is now in its second reading. I'm going to have its second play reading April 12th.
Amazing.
It's funny because Sasha, I'm going to channel her a bit, but it's like another part of that same question about writing a blurb. I've written a blurb and it's really, I want to know what's legitimate in terms of like I write with a writing group and I sent it to them, including even a tagline tonight for this play. And like I sent it to a smaller group of them earlier, and they're like, this is just brainstorming, but what about blah blah blah? And I'm like, those are way better words than I came up with. And that's not okay. Like, I can't use their words because then it's not my blurb. So I want to know what's your feeling on like, where does collaboration end and plagiarism begin, of somebody else's words?
Plagiarism begins when you steal shit from them without their consent or knowledge.
Okay,
Right?
but you know
I
what I
mean,
mean.
no, this is like, excuse my language, this is like love making. They're in your group, you're in their group, they're in your group. It's also called in, the next steps, the marketing department. The marketing department, like Amrita's shaking her head, yes, like the public theater, I say, marketing department, help me with the blurb for bada and they come up with a fabulous blurb. So there are people who are blurb meisters and maestresses,
Wow.
mistresses, whatever.
So I shouldn't feel pride of no ownership if somebody
No,
else
no,
comes up
no,
with
no.
better stuff.
Because they're better at blurbs, and you're gonna come up with a better blurb for their play or novel or whatever because they're so in it, they can't be blurbing it. It's hard. Blurbing is a skill. I mean,
Thank
you know what I
you.
mean.
Right.
So, oh yeah, it's a
Thank
whole
you.
thing. So let them. How wonderful that your group helped you with your pitch, your blurb, and how fabulous. It's great. You're gonna help them. It's a writing group.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, yay, phew. Oh my goodness. Yes, it's community. This is how community works. And somebody will, it can be the actor. You don't have to do all the jobs. Yay.
Yes,
Is that
I
true,
could.
Amrita? Is that
I
true? Go
couldn't
ahead.
agree more. Absolutely, SLP. I was just about to say, Sarah, I think when it comes to blurbs, when it comes to descriptions, I really honor corrective brain trust because I do think, to SLP's point, it's helpful to have others who are viewing the work and not in it to be able to say how they summarize it. So even at the public, we have our marketing department, sometimes even our department, we work with playwrights and we're like, what do you think about this? And we help them with blurbs. So I've never participated in a blurb creation that isn't a collaborative exercise.
See. Thank you, Amrita. You're on the right track.
Yes,
Oh my goodness,
absolutely.
Sarah. Once
So
again, because you stop reading your phone first thing in the morning, you see your whole life is just. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Actually,
always gonna remember that. What?
you know what? I'm
Uh-oh.
still doing it. No, that's
Uh-oh.
it. I just want to
Uh-oh.
report. I'm
Uh-oh.
still doing what you told me to do. I don't look at this. I don't look at this until 30 minutes are up. So
There you
thank you.
go. There
Until
you go.
after I've written. Thank you very much.
There
That
you go.
changed everything.
It's sometimes, it's oftentimes. I mean, with so much difficulty in the world, oftentimes, sometimes solutions are very simple. We can't fix that mess going out there, but we sure can't fix the mess that's going on between us and our phone. You know, that's one thing we can do. So, thank you, Sarah. Thank you so
thank
much. I'm
you,
so proud of
Sarah.
you.
Thank you. And congratulations on the reading, Sarah. That's so
Yeah, really.
exciting. Fantastic. Hi, Heather. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask your
Oh
question.
my God, Pride and
Hello.
Prejudice. Come on. Uh, is it Pride and Prejudice? It is Pride and
It's
Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice, yes, and I'm realizing I'm probably going to be with this project for another year.
Oh,
It's
really?
going really well, but I wondered if, and also by the way, I miss Watch Me Work on the weeks that you don't have it. It's really such a blessing to have this, so thank you again.
Well, thank you.
Um, so I wondered if I could just sort of think out loud a bit and get your reaction, because what I'm trying to do is something that I've never quite done before. And the genesis of this project is, um, I have an education company. We do dramatic adaptations of classic literature in schools. It does a really great job in terms of making kids love reading and
Great.
falling in love with these classic stories. And so I've sort of ventured into uh, more and more mature material, and now we're doing Pride and Prejudice. And the idea was to do the entire book, which has 61 chapters, to give a dramatic scene for each chapter, and then enable schools and students to do a dramatic reading of each chapter so that it's not just one student reading at a time, it's sort of collaborative. And this project has gone global. And so we now have schools in 12 countries, and each school is going to produce at least one scene,
Right.
fully produced. And then eventually we'll have all 61 scenes up on a website so students or people, whoever, could just watch the whole thing. But it's big. It's like 550-page adaptations. It's definitely not something you would watch in one sitting. And my approach to it is that every scene has to be its own satisfying, interesting theatrical experience. And I'm following whatever, obviously, some scenes are more dramatic than others. Some scenes are more descriptive, some scenes are more narrative driven. A lot of her scenes are dialogue driven, which is great for theater. So I'm kind of following the lead of each chapter/scene and allowing it to become whatever suits the material best. But I'm not doing a wildly, I'm staying very faithful to the text, and I'm not doing a wildly like interpretive adaptation. And then the scenes get released to the schools, and they get to do their production however they want. So I guess what I'm worried about is I feel sort of in a way uncreative, because it's not supposed to fit together in one sitting. I'm kind of treating each individual scene as its own play. And I'm not going wildly or even somewhat wildly in terms of a creative adaptation of it. I'm staying as close to the material as I can. Obviously, my point of view is in there, but does that sound like it's coherent?
It does. I mean, you're you're one of those people who you're so great, Heather. So you've done, Pride and Prejudice in how many countries?
12.
12 countries on how many continents? 6 continents? Or did you get the seventh one? Did you get him into?
Don't have the 7th yet.
Okay,
6
it's okay.
continents.
It's the seventh is in my mind.
Antarctica, yeah.
And six, almost 7 continents, and all these school children, and you've gotten school kids. How old are the school kids?
They're anywhere from 10 to 17.
Anywhere from 10 to 17 on board with Pride and Prejudice, and you got them interested in reading Jane Austen and reading in general, and you have the nerve to say that you're not feeling creative. Yeah. So
I guess because I'm not trying to do theater like in a on a stage, right? I'm not trying to, like, you don't come in, sit, watch the thing, and then leave. This is something different. This is going to be 61 scenes, produced by almost 60 schools all over the world, each scene a different thing, but hopefully all hanging together. It's going to be a different experience as an audience. You can go in and watch one scene. We're going to have a world premiere of each scene each day.
Oh, great.
So if you're really into it, you could go, log in each day and watch, the world premiere of scene 3, and then the next day of scene 4. And we have conversations going on between the participating schools about their interpretations of the material and so on. I guess I feel a little bit like I'm in uncharted territory, Like if I send a scene to a particular school, some of the scenes I'm sort of playing with spoken language because in some of the scenes there's narration, beautiful narration, famous narration, and I want them to be able to hear it. And so I've got it to cadences. Each person speaking will speak up to a certain punctuation mark, and then the next. So they're not even reading full sentences, they're creating the sentences together. And obviously the syntax is quite different to the syntax we tend to use.
Right.
So they're hearing it, and I like that.
Right.
But I'm feeling a little bit self-conscious because I think some schools kind of get that and some schools don't. Some scenes lend themselves much more to sort of the dramatic sparring, the verbal sparring that she's so famous for. And some scenes are much less that way. They're more narrative driven. So I have that sort of tension.
Is it worry? Is it your desire to shape it more, or you're concerned that you're not shaping it enough? Or I'm trying to get.
I guess what I'm worried about is that some people will look at those scenes that are the less famous scenes, the scenes that are often not included, even though they're very rich as far as I'm concerned, and be like, "Oh, we got the bat scene," or "This isn't, this is narration," or "This is the description of Pemberley," and
Right.
And I kind of feel like we have to go with it, and the art there is about the bringing to life of this beautiful prose to the ear.
Right. So, okay. So, and you're involved with all the schools. Great. And do you bookend are you going to, in the presentation that's going to be online, are you going to be bookending or doing the interviews with the students?
Well, the students are, we have discussions that are taped at the end of their production.
And you're a part of that?
Yeah.
Great. So you can give a context for each. It's like, that old timey show like 100 years ago, Masterpiece Theater, whatever his name was, that fellow.
Alistair Cook.
Alistair Cook, yes.
The Sideways, the Fireside Chat.
Fireside, yes, exactly. So you're giving us some sort of context, leading us out of chapter X into chapter Y.
Yes, I am doing that, in fact.
Good. So you're the sort of the you're the one who's holding it together, obviously, because you're the one who brought it to us, which is great. I would, in my experience dealing with people who are the age of the people performing your show, I really believe that if you pitch it with enthusiasm and tell them why what they're doing is great, then they will at least be more open to receive it as something really great.
Yeah.
If you
Okay.
pitch it as, this is the boring fucking chapter, I don't know
Right.
why you're doing it, shit, have fun, then they're going to treat it like that. But
Yeah.
if you frame it for them, how
Mhm.
it's really important that they're going to carry that moment of the story, and how it's the wonderfulness of the story is very dependent on that,
Yeah.
then they're going to receive it like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get to run on the flat. Sometimes you got to run up the hill. Sometimes you got to navigate the forest. They're young people. They have to be helped to understand that it's not always standing on the podium with the trophy. Kids these days aren't taught that sometimes you got to run around the block or whatever the right metaphor would be.
Yeah.
You're teaching them all a really important skill set. Or as Gypsy Rose would say, you got to navigate the rough with the smooth. However, that you encourage them to know that everything is important. If it wasn't important, you wouldn't have included it,
Yes.
because you are editing and choosing and shaping. If they weren't great, you wouldn't have chosen them. That's why they're in the project, because they're great, and you want them to represent chapter 17. You know what I mean? You're the coach of the team. You know what I mean? All those kinds of things. So, and that all that you're doing, Heather, is extremely creative. And just because you're not doing your take on it, what I call, like, some people, when I adapt something, they're like, oh, why don't you are you going to do like Suzan-Lori Parks on? I'm like, I'm not going to do a number like a bowel movement on a piece of work like Native Son just because I'm adapting it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't have to do a number on it to be creative. We can walk hand in hand with the original writer and make sure that her vision gets to the next level. That's called rolling the wheel forward. She already invented the wheel. You're rolling it forward. It's very creative.
Oh, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it.
Every day of the week, girl. Come
And
on.
what's so nice is I can really see with the kids that I work most closely with that their ear is really developing. Their ear for this language is just, they're picking it up so quickly, and their comfort level with speaking it is just beautiful.
It's thrilling. It's thrilling.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
So great. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. You're doing a great, great mitzvah to the whole world. So just, love it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Hi, Rebecca. Please unmute and ask your question.
Hey, Rebecca. Good to see you, sister.
Hey, SLP, how are you?
I'm good. Happy to see you.
It's good to see you too. So I wanted to report in. I was away most of the fall, and so I decided to go to AWP 2 weeks ago.
Oh, right on.
So it has a number of names, but it's a writer's program.
Okay.
Writing programs and professional writers.
Oh, cool.
There's 12,000 people there. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't know that till after I got home.
12,000 people. I'm trying to imagine 12,000 people. That's a lot.
There was a point in the hallway where it was like 8 people across, all trying to go to different rooms. So,
Wow.
but I went with the intention of pitching my manuscript, and it was really kind of amazing. So 2 publishers promised to be in touch. That means I have to get back in touch with them, even if they make that promise.
Yay, that's so great.
And 2 journals, one of them that published my very first piece out of my MFA, Callaloo, who I love.
Oh, yeah, right on.
Yeah. Asked for an excerpt, and this relatively new one called Solstice, which I also love, asked for an excerpt.
Oh,
So
right on.
it feels like things are moving, and I was just finishing up trying to chisel out 500 words, so I hit the limit for Callaloo, and getting that in. So
wow, congratulations.
yeah.
How did it feel to go to a conference with, what did you say again, 12,000?
Yeah,
that's kind of intimidating, it sounds like to me.
yeah. So I signed up late, so I was staying out near the airport in Baltimore. And I found this Nigerian driver, taxi driver. So he took me every day back and forth.
Oh, wow.
And he would drive up, and he'd never been to the convention center. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
really? He's like, that's a lot of people. And I said, well, I think there's 5,000 today. And then the next day I was like, I think there's 8,000 today.
Wow.
And it was the first 2 days I was fine with,
Uh-huh.
but the last day it was really quite difficult. So
Mm.
I had done all I could do, and I went to the Museum of American Visionary Art to like decompress,
Nice.
which is really, that's like found artists.
Mm-hmm.
It's brilliant. So,
Wow.
and
Wow.
as I was there must have been 30 people from from the conference who had decided to do the same thing. So,
Uh-huh. Oh, cool.
yeah. But it was the first time I tried to talk about the book,
Mm-hmm.
I totally went blank. I was at the Greystone Press table.
Oh, wow.
There was 11,000 tables. In It was just, I'd never been to anything that big.
Wow.
um, and I just went totally blank. and,
Huh.
and I had rehearsed. I had my little hand card, and I was all ready. So I could hand them the card so they could at least see the title. But after that, it got easier and easier. So,
Wow.
and having, um, two publishers kind of request has given me the
Yeah.
courage to like actually get the stuff out to agents too.
Well
Um,
done.
yeah. So
Well
that's
done.
my report.
Well done. So you think you're going to get it to the publishers first and then go kind of
I'm
reverse
going to
engineer
work both sides.
Good. Good. Good.
Yeah. I mean, I think there were some really good agent panels
Mm-hmm.
in terms, I'm like, they would basically say, yes, this is about capitalism, and we love to read people's work because that's what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want. And we can't promise things, but we want to see people's work. And that was encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the other piece was you got to have a lawyer to read the contract.
Wow.
And one of the agents said that one of the things they're thinking about, and I think this is helpful to all of us, is how to get AI restrictions built into the contracts now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
which was encouraging to
Huh.
hear.
Right. Right. That is encouraging.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so it was, and there were great sessions. There was a memorial for Dorothy Allison, a whole
Oh, yeah.
session,
Uh-huh.
um, and another one for Sinister Wisdom.
Uh-huh.
All the lesbian places. So that was really nice,
Mm-hmm.
and affinity groups, and so it was very thoughtfully put together. But there was 12,000 people there by
Right.
Saturday. So
Yeah. 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 But you're right. I love how you sort of framed it, Rebecca, because you can see how it's very exciting, that there's that much interest in
yeah.
writing and reading. And um, I was reading something recently where, clever is becoming the new cool again. So there's hope. And there was someone talking about how they were reading Virginia Woolf, and I was like, yeah, there you go. You know,
Yeah.
so
Um, well, and the range, like there's been all this work around ADHD and writing and encouraging ADHD folks who have ADHD as writers,
mm-hmm.
which I found fascinating,
Mm-hmm.
that um, kind of what the range of what I considered a marketplace is
Mm-hmm.
probably too narrow,
Mm-hmm.
and also recognizing that my own work, I've always wondered if I've missed my moment,
Mm.
and uh, I'm pretty clear I haven't missed my moment, which is kind of sad, but I'm happy about it at this point.
Good. Well, you're pretty clear you have not missed your moment.
I
Yes.
am. I'm clear I haven't, but I'm writing about a lynching, so um, yeah,
Like, truth might well come back into fashion.
yes. Well, I'm going to ride this as well as I can
There you
to
go.
make
Right?
sure that that it speaks to the moment, and we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right on. Good on you. You're so great for putting yourself out there too, because going to a big conference like that, it takes a lot of nerve. So
Yeah.
well done. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. And
Mhm.
I appreciate being able to be here and
Mhm.
kind of find ways of hearing how other people have built up their nerve too. So it's always helpful.
Well said. Yeah, I enjoy it too.
Thank you, Rebecca. SLP, do you think we have time for maybe one more
Yeah, let's
question?
do one more. Sure.
All right. So the next on the queue that I see is Lauren. Hey, Lauren,
Hey,
feel free to
Lauren.
unmute yourself.
How you doing?
Hi. Hello, everyone. I'll keep this quick. I'm writing this big full-length play. It's my thing that I want to do before I pass on. But it's all consuming. It's like, because it's somewhat autobiographical, but it's not. So it's really personal. So I thought, what about the process of putting that down and working on just something else that kind of just something that gives you an impetus to write something about something else for a day or two, just work on that, just to get a breather from it. It's kind of like studying. You go to law school and you're not supposed to study contracts all day. You're supposed to break it up. Study contracts a couple hours, then maybe go to property, mix it up, But does that
Sure.
make sense?
Sure, mix it up. And the analogy, so the law school, the thing about law school is that they're going to hold you to your original decision, right?
Right,
So they're going to make sure that you be studying them contracts enough so
right.
that you're going to, I have no idea what happens in law school, but just from what you said, that
Yeah, you
you
have
will
to
be
learn
studying the
certain
laws.
ideas.
Exactly, because you'll need to acquire the knowledge so that you can pass the exams or whatever,
Right,
right?
exactly.
So the same thing with writing, you can say, yeah, I'd like to do this other thing because it's going to give me a breather from this thing that's really, really, really important to me. The tricky thing about the writing is that really, really important thing might get pushed more and more and more to the side
Right.
because it's hard. So you got to be
Exactly.
honest with yourself, and like you're not, if you're saying you got to come back to that really, really important thing
Oh, yeah.
more often than you're away from it. And you just got
Right,
to be honest with
exactly.
yourself and say, like, yeah, you need I mean, if you need a breather, I don't know, you live by the sea uh, in
That's right.
Massachusetts, go for a walk.
I know. It's
Go
really
for a
nice,
walk. Go for a
You
walk. Sing a song.
exactly.
You know what I mean. Just be very mindful that the breather might be all the breaths, and then there you are.
Right, right. Yeah. That's a good, very well
So
thought out.
just
Okay,
just
thank
be
you.
mindful. You got to be on it. You got to be on yourself about
Yeah,
that.
oh yeah, no, right, exactly. Okay.
It's
Thank
six.
you very much. That's
It's six.
very
Thank you, Lauren.
wise.
It's 6 o'clock. Are we back next week? The girl who doesn't, the woman who doesn't know the schedule. What? Amrita, you know the schedule.
I
Zoe and I are checking
Oh,
it
yeah.
right
yes,
now. I think we
yes,
are.
we are.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we
Yes, we
are.
are. Okay, great.
Fantastic. Thank you both. Thank you. Oh, this has been great. It's wonderful to see y'all, and we will continue to show up for each other. We will continue to encourage each other and give love to each other, give tough love sometimes to each other, because that's how we're going to get through. Promise. Okay. But congratulations to everybody. Really, really proud of everybody. Really well done. Well done. See you next week.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.